Greetings, everyone. Here's I, Arketer, as is typically the case, with Fromun, and not with any manner of sculpting whatsoever. This is for a few reasons. I'm in muscle pain.
Ark is a beta weakling, and he tried to do one squat, and he just kind of like had a cramp because he hasn't like exercised in years. So, you know, he's just such a old bastard. I mean, he's even in black and white.
I'm not even going to get into combating the lander involved here, but suffice to say, I am in a small measure of muscle pain for reasons I will not get into. And the getting into VR could have been done, but not without inspiration, which was also lacking. No one had any ideas, so instead we're just doing some Minecrafting. Greetings in chat to Keishel, Nerdy Rodent. And acute sympathies, Nerdy Rodent. Sorry to hear it. I suppose I can show you the tower and the base and the Fromun's server here. Greetings CBS 100, and take you along on my personal quest for revenge. In playing around the Twilight Forest, I've gotten myself rather beaten up by some of the bosses. One was a skeleton knight, a phantasm thing, that chewed through all my armor, and then I had to actually log on from and to my stuff back. Part of the problem I've realized since then is that it was probably immune to my damage because I hadn't cleared the progression up to it.
No, you can do that stuff. It's just a pain in the ass.
Well, suffice to say, I was only taking damage from fire damage from my shield, and that was a losing prospect. That said, I'm going to fix that because I've hunted down the Mino Shroom, which allows me to hunt down the Hydra. And then once I've hunted down the Hydra, I'll be able to take on one of these skeleton knights. My armor, in my previous effort to hunt down the Mino Shroom, was destroyed because I ran out of mana to repair it with. Roman has been kind enough to provide me with some replacement armor. That is...
And honestly, I'm probably going to get rid of my band of mana, my band of aura soon. So if you want to use that, you can, so that you don't have to worry about mana regen anymore.
I would very much like to put that to use.
I'm debating on getting, what is it? The Ring of Odin, which the Ring of Odin increases your health by 10 and makes you immune to fire damage and falling. You also have the Ring of Thor, which improves your what is it? The Terror Shatterer, or the Ring of Loki, which allows you to affect multiple blocks at once in a weird way. I've never really found a great use for it, but there is a lot of utility behind it ultimately.
Very good. Yeah, I would happily make use of the cast-offs. Meanwhile, I'm hoping that one of my weapons projects here will actually serve some use in taking out the Hydra. Weapons I had prior were not, This thing is a monster. True beast. Sounds like a bit like an empty kitten, though, in practice.
Would you really... I am definitely going to need to make some better armor if I'm going to take on the Guardian of Gaia consistently. I could always go Terra Steel, but kind of want to stay from going too high in Botania at this point.
Yeah, it's the best system. It's the best system.
Well, Thaumium Fortress, from my understanding, is supposed to be far better than it actually is. I mean, there's Draconic armor. There's Psi Metal armor, which could be interesting. Basically, every time I take damage, I could cast a spell that will automatically heal me by a certain amount, for instance.
Greetings, Nixie Hunter. I can respond to chat in timely fashion. Yes, that's nice. You know, I'm starting to wonder if I am even damaging it. The main problem with the Hydra is that
you're supposed to attack its actually. That's where the bulk of the damage is. Because it's gonna only take like 2 to 3 hearts if you attack the body. At most.
The main problem is if I try to just take shots to the head.
It becomes a little more hectic, but really as long as you're fast, you shouldn't have a problem with it.
Well, this bastard already has 1, 2, 3, 4 heads so far and counting. And I've got crossbow bolts for days with these heads, but I have to say it's not really taking off as much as I would have.
Well, once you kill a head, it does a good chunk of damage from my understanding. Plus, I can already tell that the DPS is a lot faster when you're using the crossbow.
Come on up and wind, you bastard. Fun fact, this armor is so incredibly fabulous, so fey, that every time I'm hit, it sends out a fairy to attack the foe that hit me, so that's fabulous. What do I need? It's the Guardian. Chances are my crossbow does, because I did make a tinted crossbow. I think it does a little more damage than yours, but yours probably has a higher DPS, just because it reloads faster. Yes, and I've got enough steel leaf at this point that I basically never have to worry about running out of bolts, so fast fire and forget.
Like mine is, I believe I'm using a demonic metal, which is just tossing, it's just tossing gold into a little thing, and there you go. Good job. Good job. Okay, so I need carrots. That's what I need right now. So I gotta enter. I also found out a way to infinitely duplicate, what's it called? I can infinitely duplicate my my mini rooms like the Britannia room, for instance. Now, it doesn't duplicate the room with the data, but it does give me a blank block for those mini rooms with that personal shrinking device. I'm not gonna use it, but I did figure out how it works, which is just using a little bit of blood magic.
Very nice. If you want to give people a tour of your place, since we're not streaming your game, I can point it out what you've been working on. Got some very impressive architecture there. I'm sure they would appreciate seeing it. And they certainly don't know it from the last time we streamed this. And yes,
True.
R.I.P. Hydra. No pity whatsoever. Nothing that has that much regeneration or some remote amount of pity.
What do I need? I need a top. And then my sigil. Yeah, if you want to pop on over, you can. I'm not going to stop you. I wouldn't consider my base I wouldn't consider my base anywhere close to being done, but you know, I'm making good progress with it, I think, overall. Okay, so I got myself a melon seed, digital green row to mature it.
And blatantly greetings, Kevki. Javedan. Anyone else who I didn't immediately notice? And just consider yourself attractively addressed. Or not. Hold a grudge over it, if you like. Find that somehow more desirable. Yourself. Here it is.
Yeah, you're the kind of person who would hold a grudge.
I make a point of
change.
carrying as few grudges as possible. But yeah, I still got a few regardless. We're not going to go into that. Greetings, are in a fruit bat. How do you not have a wrench?
Might it be like a new thing? Oh.
Well, in any case, you have one now. Glad to see you about. I hope things are going well on your end with the crew. How much you want to... it's up to you. But, it's okay, I guess. Hope you're well. Greetings, violence is life. I've seen you there before. If I know you, it's by a different name, clearly. We're just idly Minecrafting this time. Normally we'd be sculpting in 3D, and, well, he'd be using Blender and I'd be in VR. That is not being done this time round, because I don't wanna. Didn't have a clear vision for a sculpt in the first place, and for reasons that will not be gone into, but maybe grotesquely slandered about from Fromun's point. The art kit is particularly unpleasant to concept when one is suffering the lower back of a muscle nature. Weight on my head just sounds really unpleasant right about now. I was showing off the incredibly low-tech shortcut through the nether between holding new bases.
Oh yeah, you did that. I never use the nether, just I can teleport anywhere I want.
Yes. That's very fancy, but still made use of it.
Yeah. You ever get into Thaumcraft, I recommend interlacing your slabs with, what are they, paving stones of travel. Because that way, yeah, if you have those stones of travel, then you can move back. You can move even faster since stone of travel gives you basically like a speed boost for a few seconds after you leave the tile, and then you can interlace those with your brownstone ones to increase that boost even more.
Yeah, fair enough. Although strictly speaking, I don't necessarily need that travel fast. Good old-fashioned wand teleportation or use of the ender will get me wherever I need to go quite rapidly.
You also have, you know, the teleposers that I have in between your base and mine.
Yes. I want to show off another. Fairly useful. I suppose I can show off the various travel anchors that Fromun has installed throughout his base.
Just look and crouch.
Yes, when you're standing on a travel anchor, you can see through the map location all travel anchors within a certain range, and then just crouch to go there. I'm standing at your energy core stabilizer if you want to give the tour.
Yeah, it's so big old battery. That's all this thing is right here. But it's a big old fancy battery. Purdy.
Indeed. It is a very pretty battery. A visual representation of big numbers.
Seems off here. Is that because, yeah, it's because it's night. Okay. This is just going back to my Thaumcraft room because I'm gonna sleep. Make it daytime just so that my big old battery is charging up. Right click it, see how full it is. This has been generating more power than anyone else would need for a very long time, and I'm still only just over 5% full. Which to say, it's a very big battery. And this is not even close to the biggest it can get. Like, this is tier 5, and it ends up maxing out at tier 9, I think. Which does genuinely hold infinite power, I think. Yeah. This stuff's from an old project. I really just use it as a fancy milk machine, though, nowadays. Because it generates me infinite amounts of milk. Quantum Quarry. Basically, you just feed it power, and it will automatically generate blocks to be mined, and then it enters my storage system automatically. If I right-click this, it will drain power directly from my big old battery and make it go super fast. But I'm not really using it too much right now. That's this level. My middle one I have not even started working on yet. Outside of maybe this very rudimentary power system, which takes any of the ores from my setup and puts it into a sag mill to generate ore doubling, and then smelt it into bars. Ores recreator, which just grows mushrooms for me automatically. Induction smelter I'm using to build or generate something called slag, which is used for all sorts of fancy stuff. If you look kind of in the back, I have this weird, these couple machines working in tandem, which is a latex processing unit, which is all part of something I'm working on for creating a bunch of fancy industrial foraging tools. This chest right here just takes anything that I've made in this chain of stuff along here, where you see like the bluish green conduit here. It's just putting this back into my storage system.
Indeed, remember, the latex processing unit here is for industrial work, not GIMP suits. Sure, latex is often used in GIMP suits, but it's absolutely not being used for GIMP suits in this case.
Well, let me see what I can use it for. So it's usually used just for plastic, and then the plastic is used for a few different things, like apparently night vision goggles and conveyor belts, little things like that. Going down to the bottom floor, you can kind of see how a lot of this system works. So if you looked at the top floor, like as in the little building that's on top of all of this, there's a bunch of solar panels that have a wire system that both feeds the machine with the bulb, set it from input to output. But if you look, it's currently on the input, which is why all the particles are going into the battery. While I have this one set to output, this is feeding my storage system. Since my storage system takes energy, it's also starting to, I'm building a little bit of a brewery right now. Just to test out how alcohol works in the game. Right now, I'm not too impressed with it. Not too impressed in the slightest. But like I have a little bit of vodka in this little distillery right now. But I'm just my entire storage system. The rest of it is little tools and tricks that you can do along with it. For instance, this right here, this ME wireless access point, allows me to be able to use this wireless crafting terminal to access my entire inventory, my entire storage system from anywhere in the world. I have these crafting storage and crafting monitors. So for instance, if I want to make salt, let me just input this so I can take all the salt I have in here out. But if I were to need to make, say, 5 crafting monitor, you can see the number going down just to say that that's how much salt needs to still be made. That all basically comes about through programming specific recipes that you're going to be using a lot. So for instance, salt, something I use a lot for cake, because my alternative power source for Botania is using a metric ton of cake, and that brings us over to this right here. A maximum compact machine. Take out your Game Boy, right-click your compact machine. Do you have your Game Boy still?
Yes, I've been walking around with it for some time. Also, we have been regularly disconnected for whatever reason twice now. It's come back, and there's no explanation for why. It hasn't been a service interruption directly, but if you missed any key points of Herman's lecture, technical difficulties. Those are to blame.
Yep.
But yes, this is basically the better part of Botania in a box.
Yep. And so, well, this is just the storage system for it. So I'll put, as you can see, the pool is draining very quickly. But I have a flower here called I always forget his name. It's a Ranuncarpus. That's what it's called, which will take any block, which includes, for instance, cake, and place it on the world around it, basically the block below it. Because I have elven quartz as the block below it, it will be taking this carrot cake or cheesecake and placing it on any block of elven quartz in the area. Then I have these Picaremuses, which will eat said cake and turn that into power, which gets sent into the mana splitter. The mana splitter separates it into the 4 surrounding pools. And then I have a spark system that distributes that all over the place, primarily to this pool right here, which has a few different uses. First and foremost, with the mana tide bellows, it inserts mana into things very quickly, which is useful for my Terror Shatterer, since I'm trying to get that filled up to an SS rank, which requires over 1,000 pools of mana, and I'm currently well, this elven portal right here, which is fed through the Natura pylons down here. Those Natura pylons basically allow it so that when I have mana, I can throw things into the elven portal, and they will return to me different versions of that thing. For instance, Arketer's armor is made from elementium, which is by taking iron, throwing it into a mana pool to turn it into mana steel, and then taking that mana steel and throwing it into this elven mana pool, or the elven portal, to turn it into elementium.
Notably, the user cannot.
Unfortunately, it's pretty underdeveloped, in my opinion.
Well, I would want to go to Elfland anyway. Sounds like a terrible place.
It's pretty much just you get a metric ton of living rock, and you can mine pink diamonds and pink armor, and that's its entire purpose.
I'm thinking I'm good on pink. Additionally,
Come to the sugarcane farm, which is used primarily to feed my Botania setup, because you need sugar to make cake. So if I collect myself my ring of magnetism and replace my band of aura with that, I can just go through here and auto collect all of this stuff. It's all coming from, well, I can pick up that ring of magnetism. It wasn't in my inventory, but because of the wireless setup I have in my storage system, I can, again, access that from anywhere. Toss that stuff in.
I fancy. Again, apologies for interruptions in service. System paging heavily could be it. I wouldn't know. I'm actually that tech savvy. A No Man's Sky stream is technically possible. I do have the game. I haven't played it in a long time, but I remember it fondly.
Well, my understanding,
Oh, go on.
my understanding, No Man's Sky has only got. You can see the power generation setup I have is just these piddly little, like, max tier solar panels. Nothing too spectacular. I also have this weapon called the Star Caller, which quite literally summons pink little pixels to strike the ground at wherever I see fit. That one hit you. Did not intend to do that, but hey.
It would seem to be within tolerance.
Let's see, and then I have all sorts of little things. For instance, within, it's programming spells within a specific setup. So for instance, if I just click right there, I have programmed this one to make a pretty hardy sized explosion. Which I just blew up a pack.
That's unfortunate.
But it's a nice little kaboom.
Yep, that is definitely a terrain reshaper.
I also can set it to a smite spell, so I can just go around and let's see, where's that? You know, little things.
Yeah, I'm playing Zeus.
I'm particularly fond of just the ability to blink places.
Well, I believe that concludes the tour.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my Fompic stuff hasn't changed too much. My what is it? My blood magic has changed very slightly, but that's really, I changed it from being a primarily storage altar to more of a more of an external storage for my blood. So instead of having it store like 1.5 million, now it only holds about 1/10 of that. But simultaneously, I have a barrel that holds 65 million blood that I could just have it import into if I have a lot of blood.
Perhaps more blood than any one person truly needs.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
no. Old blood magic, I had a lot more.
If you were wondering what that odd visual effect was, I got high off of a shroom, which I suspect probably has a more striking visual effect than the alcohol being brewed does.
No, it's about the same. I figured that it would give you some nausea if you drank too much of it, but it seems to be... Let me just make sure I got this right. Let me get myself a bottle of vodka. And I need to make myself hungry. Because you can't drink if you're hungry, or if you're full, I guess. Okay, vodka gives you blindness and nausea for about 1.5 minutes. Although, blindness does make Botania look very pretty.
Well, I should fire up No Man's Sky, see what has been updated in it. I was hoping that in the game they would start adding more alien races, because they always hint that there'd be a lot more that you don't see. And I don't believe it's the good moonshine that causes you to go blind. But certainly, it is a serious risk with an amateur brewing effort. Well, I wonder, what exactly is the benefit of the,
Like, the only aspects of it that I've actually picked up from it is just nausea and blindness. Like, there's the pirate language in Minecraft, which renames potions into different kinds of alcohol. So, for instance, rum is a potion of strength. Which I'm kind of salty they haven't done something like that with it.
Fair enough. I've gone back to Twilight Forest to pursue my potential.
Proud of you.
That was an offensive bit of fraud there. There's no way I would have actually fallen that far. Okay then. Maybe I should have been using Enter to travel.
Or the...
Hunt down a new goblin fort. In any case, gear recovered. No huge loss. Most damage sustained to my pride.
To have me hunt down and kill Ark, please donate $5 to the link in the description. I should make an arena though. I want to kill the Guardian of Gaia so I can make a black hole talisman, which would allow me to hold an infinite amount of
Alright then. Greetings in chat, Sass the Grey. Thank you for the promotion. I sincerely appreciate it. I don't recall green being hunted as a sport. But, I don't know. Maybe the price reasonably high enough I could probably consider being game.
well, we'll set your price. We'll see if someone can match it.
I was wondering what exactly I'm doing. I'm wandering around in one of the dark forests looking for a goblin fortress to stick a Hydra trophy on so as to clear the way to beat up and gain proper revenge on a skeletal knight thing. I'm not blind in the dark forest, which would typically be the case because I kicked a lick around some time ago. That gets you access to the dark forest without being immediately blinded upon entry. However, it does get you in the Goblin Fortress. You need a Hydra head for that. Which, as you saw, I just acquired. Mind you, if you're determined, you can break into the Goblin Fortress even without the Hydra head. But, the game will aggressively try to screw you over for the entire time you're there. By disabling your ability to directly damage anything in the fortress, and trying to actually rebuild damage to walls to discourage progression. I have to wonder what is going wrong with OBS. It's frequently disconnecting and reconnecting. It cannot be an internet disruption directly. Just something with OBS right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can find this Goblin Fortress before time otherwise runs out. Although I suppose I'm not really needing to worry about any size. Actually, Discord does seem to be increasingly uncooperative with my streaming efforts. The reasons why I had to stop using it for the SRS. That could be it. Unfortunately, Fromun is only audible using a Discord call. So we could switch to So maybe Discord isn't really necessary after all. would expect to find a new goblin fort by accident if I knew.
I want wither skulls and soul sap.
Oh, I'm sure I'm getting close to hitting some sort of relevant cube that I can then apply a cube to open up the other cubes. But I must find the correct cube first. Should be indicated by an array of other cubes, roughly looking like a fort.
Draconic boots. Energy core. Wherein core. Diamond boots. Draconic boots.
Flaming doggo in this case. Mist wolf ambushed me. It's pretty suicidal, has absolutely zero chance of victory, even if I'm not paying attention and have ceased to eat properly.
I think that's going. And filling up that at an okay rate.
I should have better marked where the nearest intact stronghold was.
Time to
Well, there's another kobold with notes on a stronghold, which implies that I must be right by one. And yet...
I want cake.
Hmm.
There we go.
Yeah, OBS is really just disconnecting and reconnecting with some regularity. That's got to be terribly annoying.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go do that.
If attempted the slightest offense of a Fromun statement just now, please keep in mind he can't actually smell you where you are, therefore any foul odors, well, are surely self-dealt. I have no idea what any of you smell like, but I assume it's perfectly adequate in at least most cases. With reasonable considerations to basic hygiene. I am an optimist.
Are you really? You don't get to where we are right now by being an optimist.
Yeah, I think I still qualify. Not excessively.
Are you telling me you always look on the bright side of life?
Or not always, but more often than not.
By chance, Art, do you know if you got any melon?
It is possible.
I do have melon stock growing right now. It's just it hasn't done anything yet. Maybe I should try and mass produce. What about your interpersonal communication skills?
Oh, I just died to falling damage because the server couldn't keep up where I was, and even though I was safely on the ground again, it just decided to
Well,
add
part
that
of
up
it is
post-landing.
you know, servers have trouble running 2 dimensions at once. I lowered my render distance to 6 chunks, which should help you out a little bit.
Only buffering space 100. This is again the fault of whatever fuckery is causing OBS to regularly disconnect and reconnect. And if Discord's causing it, well then. That would be a bit of a pain to fix quite at present, as the time is almost up. I could take a quick moment to perhaps talk over the next week's events. Nothing at all is happening tomorrow, as has always never happened. I haven't had a show on a Monday in quite some time, and I'm not about to start tomorrow. Tuesday should be side quest. Wednesday, I'm probably going to be streaming more Phasmophobia, as I'm expecting Grey to be handy for it, and probably Haven as well. I'm not saying you should get the game if you don't already have it, just that there'll still be a slot there.
He wants you to fill his slot.
From the ghost hunting team. Yes. After that, Thursday, of course, will be the SCP review. Friday will be the SRS at its new, much later time. And then hopefully next Saturday goes much more to plan. And next Sunday, there will not be one of these.
That's there. Oh.
Oh. Thank you all for bringing the likes up to 10.
Here. So now I can make this melon. They don't.
Well, after all the time remaining, however, I have found another Hydra. And just to be mean to it, I think I'm gonna murder it.
Axe drops are pretty good. So is flaming metal. So I need a blast. I need 2 of these blast flasks. And I guess I can get another nether wart. Boy, filling up with some health potion. So I have that, then we go to base. Boink. Boink.
Mission's accomplished. Another dead Hydra. I suppose that's a good point, as I need to give it a rest. Thank you all for joining us for this bit of Minecraft streaming. I hope you enjoyed your tour of Fromun's laboratory, underground fortress thing, and enjoy the multiple demises of Hydras.
You're missing some of the best stuff.
I'm seeing some of the best stuff. Not necessarily. Those are good Hydra chops, though. Thank you all for showing up. I hope to see you all Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, especially Friday, Saturday, but not next Sunday, as there's nothing scheduled then. Until one of those locations and times, rather. As long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Anything you want to say in parting from it?
Not particularly.
Okay then.
Look at that.